while they're stuck inside. And as you can tell, we are both stuck inside too. So wanted to talk to her about that. Kim, what do you suspect's going on with people right now? What are the struggles they're having right now?
Well, I think everyone is experiencing some form of stress right now related to COVID-19 and all the regulations that have been put into place. I mean, everyone, from your youngest to your oldest, it may look different. The severity of it may be a little different, but everyone is experiencing some form of stress right now. Coping with stress, though, if you do it in a healthy way, makes us stronger. And that's something that everyone needs to remember, that we get stronger when we go through trials. And so you may be worried about your own health, or you may be worried about the health of someone else. You may be having trouble sleeping or focusing. You may be changing your eating habits, some for the bad. If you already struggle with anxiety or depression, then you may be noticing that some of that is increasing for you right now. And if you use substances, you may be a little more tempted to turn to those right now. In fact, alcohol sales, I was in a meeting the other day and they reported that alcohol sales had increased by 55% since this started. And so that shows that people are coping, but not necessarily in a healthy way. So that's something that I thought that we could talk about today, is how to implement healthy ways of managing your stress and your anxiety right now.
So what are some ideas that people who are sitting at home right now, stuck in the house, and then at least for another week we see now probably stuck in the house, what are some things they can do to kind of cope with the stress that they're dealing with right now?
Okay. The primary thing is to remember that no matter what, God is in control. He's not surprised by any of this. It didn't catch him off guard. He's completely in control. To remember that no matter what happens, this isn't our home. We have a better home to go to. So no matter what, we're all going to be okay. But some practical, some tangible tips that people can do at home right now is to stop and throughout the day take some deep, slow breaths. What that does is it resets your brain, and it helps your body cope with the stress as you go through it, versus letting it build up. And then by the end of the day, you're frantic or you're snappy or you can't sleep. Well, it's been building up all day. So taking those deep, slow breaths throughout the day, even if you need to set a reminder on your phone, or just every hour, just stop and just take a couple deep breaths. It kind of helps reset your brain.
You have one of these watches that will remind you to do it if you want to set
Yes, absolutely. Try to eat healthy. Sometimes when we're at home, we snack and it's not always on something good. But this is a time now that maybe you can say, hey, I want to try to implement some new healthy strategies. You're not having as many distractions. You can't go out to eat as easily anymore. You can't just go, grab something really quick. You are at home. And so this may be time to think of some new recipes, really kind of think about what you're eating and when you're eating. A lot of us, when we're stressed, we eat and we crave stuff that's not good for us. And so try to get ahead of that by planning some healthy meals and some healthy snacks that you can go to when you are feeling a little stressed. Go outside and walk. You may not be able to go to the gym right now. And even if you never go to the gym, you need to get outside and walk. You don't need to sit inside all day long. You need the sunshine. The walk will help connect you with nature and just the sun and what God's created. And so that's also going to kind of help reset your mind. So start a routine. This is a good time to start a routine of walking every evening or every morning. Avoid alcohol, tobacco, any other substances. Sometimes stress makes you want to do those things more because it has been a coping mechanism for you. So it's really important to, if you have used those substances in the past, to not give in at this point. A lot of people's coping mechanisms, they're harder to get to. So maybe their support system are, have been people, and they're not connecting with those people as much as they used to. And so they're sitting at home and they're thinking, wow, man, a drink would be really nice right now. Well, it's not. It's going to set you back. years or months or however long you've been sober. So you have to kind of stay on top of those thoughts, because when you have time like this and you don't have others to help influence you, you may be prone to give in to those urges. So just be very aware of those. Connect with other people through FaceTime. If you have Microsoft Teams, that's a way, or Zoom. It's good to talk to people on the phone, but when you can see people, see their face, it gives a different level of connection. And so you may not be able to go over to that person's house, but at least you can see their face. And then that helps in your mind, helps you connect more deeply with people. And that's what we need right now.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to plug life groups that we're doing through Zoom, and most of our life groups are meeting through Zoom. And if yours is not, you should encourage your teacher to try to work on that, because it's definitely, the see in the face is it's so much different than just talking on the phone or texting.
Absolutely, it is. And for some people, what we find, like even at MSU, connecting this way, some people will open up more as well, versus in a room of 20 people. You may still have 20 people, but they're all, on the screens. And so it's not as intimidating. And so life groups right now, that is a great way to start bonding with people at church in those small groups and giving support. I mean, I can say, my life group this last week has sent me texts all during the week. How are you doing? Just checking on you. What are y'all doing this week since you can't go out? And so having that connection has been really important. Try meditation. You have time on your hands now. I use an app called Headspace. It's just a really easy app. You can get 10 free sessions, and then you can replay those 10 sessions if you want to, until you really want to delve into something deeper. But that's something that all of us can do for stress and anxiety. If you're having trouble sleeping, you can listen to sleep stories. I use Calm when I have trouble sleeping. It's an app, and I use the free version that you can pay for it and get more stories. But I turn that on, and I've never finished a story yet. I'm always asleep. So that's an idea if you're having trouble sleeping. You can sleep later if you want, because that's one of the perks. At least I'm enjoying that perk right now with working from home. But try to be consistent with your wake up time and your going to bed time, so that you're not like sleeping until 10 one day, getting up at 7 another day. Just try to be consistent with it so that you don't get yourself all messed up for when it's time to like everybody go back to work now. Eat lunch outside. Like, that's an easy thing. It gets you out in the sunshine. It breaks up your day a little, and it just makes it a little more special. Create balance. I have struggled with that. I had really good work-life balance at first when I went into the office, and then I came home. Now, working from home, it has been a big challenge to try to turn work off. Because I'll check my emails in the morning, and then all throughout my day when I'm helping my kids with school, I'm going, oh my gosh, I really need to get back to that. And so really carve out some time. For example, I don't check my email in the morning anymore. I do my kids' school first, then I do my work, and then I do family time. So I have to be really intentional about that. Otherwise, I'll start going to the computer all throughout the day, like checking, is there one more thing that I need to do? And probably the last thing is take this time that you have together. I mean, I really believe there's good out of everything. And the good here is the time that families are spending together. I mean, I don't think we've ever had a time where families have spent so much time together and really focused on each other. So use this time to begin new traditions. If you don't have a family devotional time, set one. This is a good time to start it. Read the Bible together. Discuss what it means for each of you, because it's going to mean something different with the different age levels in your home. Set a game night or two, or a night that you do puzzles together. Have a movie night. That's my favorite thing that we do at home every Friday is movie night and pizza night. And I look forward to it no matter what.
Right. So in addition to things that we can do, there are also some things that we need to not be doing, right? Kind of share some things there.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things to not be doing. One is stop watching the news all the time. It's real easy right now to sit in front of the TV screen and watch story after story after story. And there's a lot of political stuff going on, there's a lot of COVID-19 updates going on, and it's just a lot of negativity. And that can really feed your fear, which will then feed your anxiety and your stress levels. So take a break from it. It's okay to not watch it every single day. Um, Stay off Facebook. Um, Facebook can be good to connect with people that maybe you don't see a lot, but you have to just be careful because there is a lot of drama that comes with Facebook, and there's a lot of negativity with it. And so, if you're reading Facebook and you find yourself getting upset or getting angry, it's time to put it down because you don't need that right now. What you need are positive messages, and so I would just be really careful with Facebook. The last thing that I have is ways to protect your children right now, because your child, regardless of whether you think they are or not, are experiencing some form of anxiety or stress. Even if you've done really well and you've kind of kept the horror stories from them, they still know that they're at home and they can't go anywhere. So something is wrong. And so you need to talk about it. You need to talk about what the virus is, but you need to share the facts. Don't don't go into detail about horror stories or what awful can happen, but just say, hey, there's a virus right now. We've never had this virus before, so it's really easy for people to get sick, and so that's why everybody stays home. We want to make sure that we kind of stop it from spreading to everybody. So for right now, we're going to stay home. We're going to have fun together. We're going to play together until they find some medicine for it. So, it can be something simple like that where you're sharing kind of the truth of it, but not going into details about it. Don't let your child see or watch the news. And even if they're playing in the floor while you're watching the news, I can guarantee you they're listening to the news. Children listen even when you think they're not listening. So be very careful about when you watch the news and if your child can hear it or see it. Um, Reassure them that they're safe. A lot of times when people talk about getting sick, they start getting really worried. Well, what if I get sick and die? What if my mom and dad get sick and die? What if my grandparents get sick and die? And so their whole little world starts crumbling. And so you have to remind them you are safe. You are fine. Our family is okay. We're all staying here together. And, this is not a time to be scared about this virus. And ultimately be a role model for your child. They need to see you calm, and they need to see you doing healthy things right now. And just remember that this is a time that God has given us to be together, to enjoy being together. So use this time to really parent your child and bond with them.
Okay. That is all great advice, and it is biblically centered and centered on what the Lord would have us to do right now during this time. And just we've talked about this several times, Kim, but just because we have the Bible and we have prayer, that doesn't mean we don't use these kinds of tips. And in the same way that we try to stay physically healthy, we want to stay mentally and emotionally healthy too. So thank you so much for all that. That's really great.